What is it, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Outside the Cage. We have a loaded show for you today. We have UFC Mexico City recap, and we also have a fight night preview, Rozenstruik versus Gaziev this weekend. How are you feeling, brother? How's everything going?
Feeling great, man. And that Mexico card did not disappoint, unless you're a fan of the Mexican fighters only, I guess, because they disappointed the crowd. But that was an electric card from start to finish. The atmosphere was absolutely nuts. It was the loudest crowd I could remember for the first fight of the night in recent memory. Maybe one of those out of country cards matched it, but I don't know. It was absolutely popping. Inside the octagon, the knockout of the night didn't even happen inside of the octagon, though.
Yeah.
Brandon Moreno, man, that was a disappointing performance from him. I was texting one of my friends. I said, I hate to say this, but he almost looks a little old out there in that fight.
Happens fast, bro. We got to start realizing, and we say all the time, but like how much a loss matters. Once you're on a big run, a loss can just comes quick. Everything just comes so fast.
Yeah, that balloon gets popped. So quickly, man. It's not like Royval even looked that great in there. Moreno, he just looked a step slow to me. He wasn't throwing those boxing combos. I read one thing that I thought was very true. It was just a random Instagram comment, but someone said that when Moreno fought Figgy in that quadrilogy, he would stand in the pocket, take one to give one. He was more of a brawler. But lately, he's kind of been more technical on the feet, dancing around, like picking that one big shot. He kept just throwing those overhands, the overhand left, which looks very ugly, but it's effective. And then the overhand right. He wasn't really throwing too many combos from what I saw. I was disappointed with it. I thought the judges got it right. What was your take on that main event?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just everything you said. Right when it felt like Moreno was gonna get going or this was the time to go, it just never. He didn't have that switch.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of kept saying like during the fight, like, all right, here he comes, here he comes, here he comes, and he just didn't. Um, like yeah, like you said, I mean, it wasn't anything Royval did. Obviously, he fought a great fight. No discredit to him, but I think the more story of this fight is how Moreno looked and what Moreno didn't do. Um,
Yeah,
just kind of feel for it, and like you just on top of the world 1 minute, and then you're just now you lost your last two fights, and it's just hard to see.
he's still. I was talking to one of my friends though, huge fan of Mexican MMA, just Mexican combat sports in general, and he says he puts Moreno above Kane at this point, just as the GOAT, just bringing the sport forward in that country. We saw the UFC PI in Mexico got built during that week. So even if Moreno's time inside the octagon or his peak might be coming to an end, he still has done an insane amount of things for that country as a whole and just the sport of MMA in Mexico. I've got to throw up this scorecard. These were the judges' scorecards from from Royval and Moreno. I want y'all to look at the one in the middle. If you guys are just listening to audio, Junicho Camingo, however you say his name, scored the fight 49-46 in favor of Brandon Moreno.
Yeah,
I was baffled when I heard that. I was baffled when I heard split decision. I was like, bro, they're really about to rig this and give it to Moreno.
yeah, for sure.
And yeah, it just the other two judges had it 48-47 Royval, which I believed was correct. If someone scored it 48-7 or 48-47 Moreno, I would have understood. I wouldn't have agreed, but you can't really be mad at that. And then here's the stats. Look at how many strikes Brandon Royval threw in this fight compared to Moreno.
Volume.
Yeah. Even if the percentage was terrible, I saw a lot of people saying he was just, throwing shit out there. Well, Moreno wasn't. And it's not,
437 strikes to the head.
yeah, that is nuts. I thought Moreno's grappling would be able to get the job done once he wasn't able to find it on the feet. But Royval was just really good all around. He was just a better fighter that night on short notice in away territory. And he said he tore his MCL in the first round of the fight. So
Yeah.
I can't really say much. Do you have an opinion on where the flyweight division goes from here? I think we've kind of got to wait till this weekend to really figure things out. But where we stand right now, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, you would have to assume I mean, Muhammad Makayev's there. Albazi. I think it's just the waiting game here. There's no one clear up next. It's all about waiting, like we said a lot of times with these title fights in the weight class. It's all about timing. So I think right now there's really no clear guy that's up next. I don't know. I'm not opposed to Royval. Obviously, that's a big one on Brandon Moreno, but I would like to see Amir Albazi, um, something like that. Someone like him get a shot.
Yeah, Amir Albazi's really got to be sick to his stomach right now because this was supposed to be his night. And when he was watching that fight, seeing how Moreno looked in there and Royval, he had to be thinking, I could have beaten either of these guys. And if he beat Moreno, he 95% would have been up next for the title shot because he's 17-1. He's fresh blood up there in the division, just a new face. I think he would have gotten that title shot almost guaranteed. I think Muhammad Mokaev has a chance this weekend if he goes out there, beats Perez convincingly. I think he'll be next for the title shot. If he doesn't, maybe you go Royval versus Mokaev. You run Albazi versus Perez back, or you go maybe Albazi versus Royval. I think you got to do something with Royval, Albazi, and Mokaev to figure out who's going to get that next shot versus Pantoja.
Yeah, definitely.
Co-main event, probably the craziest fight of the night. It didn't win fight of the night, but Brian T. City Ortega, before the bell even rung, he rolled his ankle when Bruce Buffer was announcing their names. He was jumping up and down like fighters do, and you just see his ankle buckle, and he goes down, kind of has a look on his face like, oh, shit. Gets fucked up in the first round by Yair Rodriguez. Ref, I think it was Herb. Herb almost stepped in there and called it at one point. Then Ortega ends up finishing the round on top, dominates the second, gets the submission finish in the third. One of the greatest displays of heart I've seen in there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, talk about how Moreno coming off a loss. Yeah, you're coming off a loss too. Is like, damn. But like, I mean, I don't know. I thought T City was kind of in the same boat there.
Oh,
so,
more of that boat, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Two like Mexican fighters lose the main and co-main. Shout out Zell Huber and Howard Gee for putting on for the Mexican people there. Big wins from them.
Zell Huber and
Prado, baby. Fight of the night.
You absolutely called that one. You even called how the fight was going to go. Said Zell Huber's just going to be a little too technical in there for him, land the better shots, but it's going to be a war. But Zell Huber gets the job done. And Zell Huber impressed me on the mic after the fight too. He was answering the question in Spanish, then he would answer in English. And you know how much we love that. So here's what I got for Zell Huber. I kind of mapped out the year for him. His next fight should be against Nasrat Haqparast. Haqparast is 28 years old. He's on a 3-fight win streak. He's not ranked. He's not right outside the rankings, but he's pretty close. Let's get him on International Fight Week, end of June. Haqparast represents Europe. He represents Afghanistan. Zell Huber represents Mexico. Get the different countries in there. And then if Zell Huber gets out of that with no damage, quick turnaround on the Sphere, UFC 306 in September, wins that. End of the year, Zell Huber's a ranked fighter at 24, 25 years old. I'm ready to see it.
I like it. Let's rock.
Then your girl Yasmin, she didn't deliver for us gambling wise, but she just fought a really smart fight. She had it in hand from the first 2 minutes, so you can't really say much.
Hopefully she's back.
Yeah. Do you think after getting knocked out, she's kind of going to fight that more conservative, smart, technical style when she's up on the scorecards instead of hunting the finish?
Again, it's hard to say like when you're in there, like that's what you're thinking. Obviously, when you get knocked out, you're probably going to change your fighting style, and it might be for the better. Obviously, like we talk about all the time, like we love the exciting knockouts. We love fighters that go in and just are willing to give one, take one. But a lot of times those fighters don't win. A lot of times that it's not sustainable to a long career and successful career in the UFC. So I'm fine with the way she fought. Obviously, we always love finishes. That's not realistic to get a finish every single time. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, a win, unanimous decision, no one knows how the fight went. They just see you won unanimously. So I like the way she fought. I'm glad she won. I'm hope she's back. Let's go back on another run.
Yep, I like that. Maybe ranked opponent next or someone right outside the rankings.
Yeah.
So got a comment from Anthony Estrada. Co-main event, sprained ankle and still won. Absolutely, just
Facts,
ridiculous
exactly.
display of heart. One win in the last 6 years. Goes out there, away territory. His ex is in the crowd. Hey,
I
he
also
flexed.
feel like too, if it wasn't in Mexico and he wasn't fighting Yair, he would have got a big ovation from the Mexican. He gets a lot of Mexican support.
Yep. Even if it was in Mexico and he wasn't fighting Yair, if
Yeah.
he was fighting anyone else, he would have had hella support. I remember I went to the weigh-in ceremony when Ortega fought Volk. It was for my 21st birthday, but I was just in Vegas. Didn't go to the fight. But the crowd was all Ortega. They were booing Volk, hella Mexican flags in the air. And Ortega flexed on Tracy, bringing in that baddie to the octagon. Everyone knew Tracy Cortez was in the crowd. Bro, the girl that did the face off with Marab, did you see how hot she was?
I did.
They showed her on the live broadcast, and I texted one of my friends. I was like, she has one of the nicest pairs I've ever seen. You know what I'm talking about? Insane. She's like a Latina Sydney Sweeney.
Anyone else you liked on this card?
A lot of people, honestly, bro. I did not like the judges. They screwed me over on the prelims. They were on some bullshit all night long. There were 2-3 fights, 2 that they definitely got wrong, another 2 that were questionable, but they were also close fights. So you can't really fault them too much for that. Let's see. I had a couple more names written down. Probably can't find them. Yeah, whatever. Torres, very, very good performance from him. Yeah, that's about it. But very exciting. A lot of young fighters showed their promise, built their name for the Mexican fan base. Anyone else that stood out to you?
No, man. I just want to say shout out to the Mexican crowd. I really like. Obviously, you know me. I'm a big fan of live fight nights, so it was good to see for me. I like going to those countries like that. It's a lot of support. I like going to we go to Mexico, China, Spain, Ireland, all those countries like that when we have someone that they can cheer on. So hope to see more of those. Obviously, we want more live fight nights in the US as well. But I love it. I always love going to those cities. So shout out to everybody for putting on. Shout out to Dana. Shout out to the UFC. So thank you.
Yeah. Let's see, Anthony. Yeah, Moreno should have won because it was a tie in the rounds and Brandon is winning that 5th round. I don't know. Personally, I thought Royval was controlling the fight ever since the middle of the 2nd round. It was a weird one to score, though, because it was very back and forth. But I thought Royval won. All right, and speaking of guys getting older, changing hands, time's passing, we got to thinking the longest standing champ right now is Leon Rocky Edwards. How crazy is that? He took the belt in August of 2022, so he's been the champ for about a year and a half, and he is the longest standing current UFC champion. Guys or girls, anything. Nobody's defended the belt more than twice. Islam's the only other person that has defended it twice. And 6 of the 11 champs right now have 0 title defenses. 0. Which is insane compared to a few years ago when we had Izzy, we had Volk, we had Kamaru. We had them running stuff down there for a long time. And now the belts just seem to keep changing hands. So we're going to run through all of the men's divisions and predict who will be the next person to dethrone the current champ. Some people might be on the fringe of a title shot. Some of them may be way out in the future. So I think this will be a really fun thing to do. We might have some answers that are all over the place. You could start us off at the 125 pound division. Who do you think takes out Alexandre Many Men Pantoja?
I think the most likely to dethrone him has got to be Amir Albazi. Just off the simple fact that I think he probably gets the next shot. You would like to hope, but yeah, I mean, like we talked about, there's a big fight this weekend, but other than that, I think Albazi's been kind of the guy next up, the guy in waiting. Obviously, he's supposed to fight Moreno. If he would have beat Moreno like Ravel did, Albazi for sure would have been next up. So I think he's probably one fight away, or he gets the next title shot. So I think it's Amir Albazi that can dethrone him.
All right. I got to go with Muhammad Mokaev. 23 years old. He's a dog. Our 3rd-round submission bet, automatic cash. I think Albazi just really messed up by not fighting last week. Obviously, it was stuff that was out of his control, but Mokayev's going to go in there, have a stellar performance. He's going to have all the momentum, and I think he's going to pass Albazi for that title shot. I don't even know if he beats Pantoja, but they have no issue doing rematches at that flyweight division, and Mokayev's only 23 years old, so he's going to be there for a long time. All right, now we move on to the division where the champ's never going to lose, realistically. Sugar Sean's going to win, defend as many times as he wants, vacate it, move up to 145, maybe go for triple champ status at 155, who knows. But in a parallel universe, who do you think could dethrone Sugar Sean?
Who do I think can? I mean, obviously, you'd probably have to go Merab here. That's my answer. Merab's my answer. But as I was getting into this, I want to think if he beats Merab, again, you gotta beat Cheeto first. You gotta beat Cheeto. If he beats Merab, I don't see who else can beat him. I'm looking at the list here. It's Aldo. Aldo's not coming back to 35. Corey Sandhagen's a stylistic good matchup for Sugar Sean. Peter Yan, been there, done that. Cheeto Vera would have already been there, done that. Henry Cejudo retired. Song Yadong, who knows if he ever gets a shot. Biggie getting up there in age. Rob Font, good matchup. If he beats this guy, if he beats Cheeto and he beats Merab, he has the belt as long as he wants it. That's my take from my research I did on this one.
Yep, I went way down the list to Umar Nurmagomedov. He's honestly probably the scariest person right now to me in that division. If Suga had the choice of fighting Merab or Umar, I would maybe choose Merab right now. I can't even lie, bro. I'm insanely high on Umar Nurmagomedov. The reason he doesn't fight more, it's not because he doesn't want to. I know he had to pull out of his last fight due to injury, but I guarantee you that this guy is getting turned down left and right. He's getting that Islam Makhachev treatment. I'd put my life savings on it. To be fair, that's not very much, but I would still do it. So, yeah, I'm going to go Umar Nurmagomedov. Hopefully by the time he's at the top, Sugar's long gone, already at 145. But we shall see.
Yes, sir.
155. This is a tough one because obviously the champ Islam Makhachev is extremely dominant right now. It might be a while before somebody beats him. I'm guessing we're going to have some pretty random ones on this one. What do you got for us? Oh, I skipped 145. My bad.
Yeah,
I'm still just heartbroken about that. I put that division out. I blocked it out of my mind for my own well-being. But Ilia Topuria also might be the champ for a really long time. Who do you got for us here?
It's hard to find one here. I just went Evalev.
Dude, if Evalev gets a title shot with no finishes, I will not like that one bit. I know he's 8-0 in the UFC and he has impressive wins, but I just can't stand that, bro. He's a decisionator, which I hate. So I cheated here. Can't lie. I said Max, but if Max doesn't fight Ilia, then I'm going Diego Lopes. Call me crazy. But I mean, he almost beat Evalev on a short notice fight. And he has been on a tear lately. I know that he had a rough start to his career, lost in the Contender Series, worked his way back. But he's 29 years old, still has probably 3-4 more years at his prime in that featherweight division. If he goes on a tear like he has been, I think he could be the guy to beat Ilia. Or at least has the best chance of beating Ilia. I don't really know if anyone is besides, I should have said Suga, actually. What am I doing?
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that's true.
That's the one.
That's the one, yeah. Lightweight division, I went with my guy, Arman Tsarukyan. I just think he's technical. I think he's the best. He's a top 5 guy, I think. After the old guys, I think he's up there. I think he's going to be winning for a long time. So, yeah, I mean, it's a shot in the dark, the way that Islam looks. But I think that's who I'm going to go with, is Tsarukyan.
Hey, he's one crazy performance away from the title shot. The cards can fall a lot of different ways after UFC 300.
Yeah.
With Max Gaethje, Charles Tsarukyan. But he could very well be getting the next title shot. I went Benoit Saint Denis here. He's 28 years old, 4 years younger than Islam. That's my key. Even if he doesn't beat Dustin Poirier, I think he will right now. But even if he doesn't, he still has 4 years in the bank on Islam. So say Islam holds on to the belt for another 3 years. He's 35. Saint Denis, Islam would be 36. Saint Denis would be 32. I like that a lot for my guy Benoit. A lot of those lightweights above him are a lot older than him, and the guys below him are a lot younger.
Yeah.
So he's going to be one of those guys age-wise at that sweet spot to take out Islam. I kind of just looked at that because Father Time's undefeated. And I don't really know who could defeat Islam right now besides Father Time.
Yeah, I agree.
Welterweight, we might have the same one here. There's a pretty popular answer, I believe. So who
Yeah,
do you
it's
think is
gotta be
most
Shavkat.
likely? Yeah, got to be Shavkat Rakhmonov, 29 years old, insanely well-rounded, has a good style to beat Leon, could probably withstand him on the feet, keep up, maybe not beat him, but when he gets him to the ground, it might be trouble.
Yeah. I think Leon holds the belt a while, man.
He's really good, bro. Seeing how he looked against Bilal, I mean, Bilal's as good of a grappler as you'll find at that 170-pound division, and he was hurting Bilal before Bilal got saved by the eye poke.
Yeah.
All right, 185. I got a weird one here. This division, the belt has changed hands the last 4 fights. Ever since Izzy defended it, nobody has had a successful defense. So
Hey.
I could guess who yours is.
Yeah. I'm going to go Izzy. I just think he gets another shot, and I think he wins.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, just the simple answer, but I went a little out of the box here. So that middleweight division's weird right now. We've seen a lot of those guys already fight each other. So I was looking for a fresh face who's on a hot streak, who's not there yet, but maybe 2 really good performances, and he'd be looking at a title shot. Let's go Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. I picked Dricus to be the middleweight champ based off of 290 when we saw him in person. He didn't disappoint. I saw Fluffy break my heart in person, and now I'm a fan. So I'm saying the next guy to dethrone Dricus du Plessis will be Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, and it might be in 2 years. So
you
maybe
think
one.
Dricus has the belt that long?
I think he defends once, drops out of a fight or two, and then I think he finds a way to keep it. It might not be from defending a lot of times, but I just think he's gonna find a way. He's gonna say UFC Africa, come on.
I got you. All right, light heavyweight division. I had to go with my guy Jamal Sweet Dreams. I just don't like anyone in the light heavyweight division, honestly. I mean,
yeah,
Yuri, we've seen that. Ankalaev, I guess. Jan Blachowicz, we've seen that. I mean, I guess you'd have to say Ankalaev or Jamal Hill, but again, it's tough for Jamal Hill the time he's fighting him. If Jamal Hill wasn't coming off injury and healthy, then yes, I think Jamal Hill gives him a good look. But we talked about a couple weeks ago or last week that it's bad timing for Jamal, bad matchup coming out of an injury like that. But there's no one else that I like at light heavyweight division. I mean, I don't know. I think Alex holds the belt here a long time too.
Yeah, I picked Ankalaev only because Jamal is coming back off the injury. I think that would be about even money if Jamal was coming into this off of a good performance. But just with the circumstances, especially it being an Achilles, just not very, very confident in Jamal against Pereira in this fight. But Ankalaev, I think he's good enough on the feet to survive with Pereira for a little bit. And if he gets it to the ground, Poton's fucked. It's plain and simple. Ankalaev has Dagestani wrestling. He has the submission game. If he gets it to the ground, I think Pereira's in for a long night. So, yeah, I'm all over Ankalaev in the 205 division.
Yeah.
And heavyweight, weird one. I mean, pretty obvious answer. Does Aspinall even count?
No. So I had Aspinall written down, but then I thought about it. I don't think. I mean, in my eyes, he's the champ right now.
Yeah, I think so too.
So the person I have for him is Jalton Almeida. I think he's kind of the new heavyweight, kind of athletic. He's long, can wrestle, can strike. So I think he gives Aspinall a challenge just athletically and possibly can get it done somehow, some way.
Yep, I had Almeida as well. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I don't want him to be the heavyweight champ. It'd be about as least exciting heavyweight championship fights as you could have, but it might just happen.
Speaking of heavyweight, this week we are back in the Apex. Jairzinho, Rozenstruik versus Shamil Gaziev. Heavyweight matchup here. Gaziev minus 150, Rozenstruik plus 125. Gaziev is undefeated at 34 years old. He is coming off a knockout win versus Martin Boudet and a submission win on Contender Series, so only his second UFC fight. Big matchup for him here. UFC veteran Rozenstruik, what do you got?
It's an interesting one. Before I get into the fight, I just want to say this one is not on the UFC for being in the Apex. So this card was originally supposed to be the UFC's debut in Saudi Arabia. But get this, Saudi Arabia complained because it wasn't a good enough card. But when you look at it, bro,
it's good.
The top
I was looking right now, yeah. Especially with Rojas getting added, it's a good card.
Bro, they all have undefeated prospects from that area of the world fighting decent guys that are going to propel them into big, big fights. And the Saudis have what's the word I'm looking for? They have the fucking balls to complain about that. That is nuts to me. They haven't hosted one fight and they just want to go straight to the top.
Eric Anders versus Jimmy Pickett, the 7th fight of the night. That's crazy. That's a good fight.
That's what I'm saying. The card order on this one's a little weird. I've seen Anders on the main card on some sites. I've seen him on the 7th at some sites. Yeah. But either way, Steve Erceg versus who's he fighting? Snell. Erceg versus Snell. That's a really good fight at flyweight too. So yeah, let's start it from the top. We got Biggie Boy Jairzinho Rozenstruik taking on, how do you say his name? Gaziev. I'll just say Gaziev. It's a lot easier. But Gaziev's from Dagestan. And that's scary enough right there. A Dagestani heavyweight, it gives me chills. He actually grew up under Khabib's dad for a few years and then didn't fight MMA for most of his athletic prime. Got back into it in 2020. Went to this gym in Bahrain, same one that Mokaev trains at. And then he's been on a tear ever since then. You watch him fight, he's just very technical, good boxer, good everywhere, honestly. The gas tank's a little questionable, but hey, he's a heavyweight, so I think you got to give him a pass. I think he could be a guy. I don't think he's a title contender, but I think he could be a top 10, top 5 heavyweight for a few years. I think he gets the job done versus Rozenstruik. Rozenstruik, he's 2-3 in his last 5, but I mean, his only losses are against really good guys. Let me read off Rozenstruik's losses real quick. He's lost to Francis Ngannou, Cyril Gane, Curtis Blades, Alexander Volkov, and Yaltin Almeida. So, I mean, not really a bad loss in there. So is Gaziev that good? That's what we'll find out. Yeah. I think with the age included as well, I really like Gaziev here though, especially for the odds.
Yeah, definitely. Next fight I want to talk about Alex Perez versus Muhammad Mokaev. Big matchup here at flyweight. We just talked about Mokaev recently, last couple of minutes, about where he stands in that flyweight division. One big win away here, one maybe big finish away from here from getting a top 5 fight.
Not bad. How to get my sip of beer in. Dude, I've got to, before I get into the analysis, we have got to go 3rd round submission here for Mokaev.
Oh, yeah.
His last 3 fights have been a 3rd round submission, and they have all been sketchy as shit.
Didn't we hit on that last time?
Yes, bro. I think you did last time. You called it last time, and the time before that, I think we just did submission. Yeah. But we've got to keep. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's my bet for this. I'll just put that out there right now. Muhammad Mokaev 3rd round submission.
Whoa. Alex Perez has 5 submission losses.
Yup. His last 2 losses are by submission. Dude, when I saw this, I said, "Oh my gosh, this is really gonna happen again." Yeah. So if y'all are listening, that one person right now on the stream, you're hearing this. Muhammad Mokaev, 3rd round submission. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, all in on it.
Alex Perez, since 2020, or since 2021, actually, he's fought 2 times, and he's had 9 canceled bouts. You know how much we hate that shit. And in those 2 times, he did lose to Figgy, and he lost to Pantoja. So he lost to the 2 of the 3 former champs. Can't fault him for that. And he's fighting another really good guy here. And I also got to lean towards everyone from the Middle East in this card. This was originally supposed to be in Saudi Arabia. They put a lot of the hot prospects on here, and they want those fans to go home happy. Some of those guys aren't on the card anymore, but there are some that still are, such as these guys. So I'm all over the Middle Eastern guys for the most part on this card.
Umar Nurmagomedov
Ooh,
finally
man.
gets a fight.
Bro, and he couldn't even fight somebody that's had a fight in the UFC before. See what I'm saying? Nobody wants to fight the guy, bro.
I know.
Do you have the odds in
How
front
did
of
he
you?
get it done?
I know it's some crazy shit. I want to say he's like minus 725.
He's minus 1,500.
Oh my gosh. I can't even say that that's wrong either. Because,
How's he gonna win?
dude, however he wants, he could submit you, he could Dagestani you, but he's also landed like spinning kicks on people and nasty. He has a nasty stand up. I think he is one of the two best brothers in MMA right now. His brother Usman Nurmagomedov, in my opinion, the second best lightweight in the world currently. He did get popped for steroids, but we'll let bygones be bygones because I invested in him making it to the top one day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, best brothers in MMA. They're cousins with Khabib, I think. They grew up under that same roof. This guy trains at the same gym as Gaziev. They're locked in. They got all the coaches out there. They've had this date circled in the gym for months and months and months, I'm sure.
Yep.
Let's ride.
Last fight we're going to talk about here, Raw Rosas, Ricky Tesarios rescheduled. Does anything about the rescheduling change your original opinion on the fight?
I mean, if Rosas was sick, I can't really help his case, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen if the odds have adjusted very much lately. I'm not even positive if the UFC's confirmed this 100% to be on the card yet, but everyone's just kind of putting it on the card. Yeah. And I think as long as both fighters are ready to go, they'll be on it. Maybe they'll do a catch weight at 140, 145, some Ultimate Fighter shit when they have to miss a fight. Let's see. Rosas still at minus 230, so hasn't really moved that much closer yet. So I'm gonna be rooting for the kid, but my brain tells me to sprinkle a little bit on Ricky here.
Yeah, I agree.
I also just have to call out another bet I'm really feeling: Eric Anders versus Jamie Pickett. Jamie Pickett, he's on a 4-fight losing streak. 3 of them have been by submission. Eric Anders, he's been doing a lot of those grappling only tournaments lately, the Fury grappling stuff. He hasn't won by submission a lot lately, but I just see that avenue here. Let's go Anders by sub. I got that one. And then I had one other fight. Oh, yeah. Tyson Pedro and Vitor Petrino. Co-main event. Petrino 10-0, 26 years old. Another good prospect. Like, I don't know how they're complaining about this card. I sound like a broken record, but anyway. He trains out of the CM system in Brazil. They kind of have an interesting methodology here. They don't focus on striking or jiu-jitsu. Their focus is mixing it up. And you see it in the film. He'll be having success on the feet, go for the takedown. He'll be having success on the ground, kind of let him back up, take it to the feet. I think the reason they do it is because they don't want to give their opponents a chance to settle in. Yeah. And it's pretty cool. He's fun to watch fight. And he had a nasty check hook in his last fight. Had a very nice knockout against Modestas Bakauskas. And Tyson Pedro is 10-4. All 10 of his wins have come in the first round. So as long as Petrino survives that first round, I expect him to take this one.
Yes, sir. Is it time for the
what the fuck of the week?
Yes, sir.
Let's get there. Pretty obvious one for anybody that's on Twitter, Instagram. The UFC Mexico City crowd was absolutely electric. 22,000 people up in that John. They were all faded, I'm guessing, drinking the Modelos, the Coronas. I'll just let the video do the talking. This is the knockout of the night. There was a lot of submissions, but this was the best knockout of the night for sure.
Nuts.
Oh, that's just God-given power right there. That straight left. Bro, I love how the dude that knocks him out, you could just tell he's hammered. Yeah. Right after he hits him, just kind of stumbles back. picks up his hat, puts it on. He's like, yeah, just doesn't really know what to do.
Crazy.
Dude, I saw Dana was talking about in the press conference after the fight. He was like, bro, it was crazy to me how there was just no one breaking it up. No security, no fans, no one was stepping in. Everyone just kind of cleared out like it was in high school, and they just let them do their thing. And I mean, that's just some Mexico shit. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. Let them rock.
I wouldn't be bumping into anyone's shoulders there. I'd say my bad and just let someone walk by. I'm not trying to end up like that guy.
Facts.
It ain't worth it. And I'll just close, since Ricky didn't fight, I'll just close it out with this video again. You got any parting words for us till next week?
I don't. I'm good.
Right,
See you guys next week.
We'll get the bets up there. Deuces.
You watching right now on the TV, you know what I'm saying? And all I say to you is I hope you chase those dreams with a burning desire. With a burning desire, and through all the fire, and through all the flame, and through all the pain, I hope that you find happiness deep in your heart. I wish nothing but prosperity and abundance in your life.